record it onto the cloud so I can store it straight out from that. So we are live. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Walker, he, him. We are playing a game of Masks, the next generation. New generation. Next generation is something completely different. New generation, and we're playing this on the Gauntlet. Due to some illness, we have lost one of our players this evening, but we're going to play on in a shorter session and do like an issue 0 for the game, set ourselves up and introduce you to 2 of our characters. We are playing under the Gauntlet Code of Conduct. We are playing using the X card and script change. We have set up lines and veils, and we set up a palette last time we played in our session 0. So can I ask both Stephen and Jivi, can you have a look at the game support and safety and remind yourselves of the lines and veils that we have set up?
Cool, yeah.
Okay, cool, lovely. So let's start with a reintroduction of you as a player and the character you're playing. And if you want to sort of sum them up in a brief description, then we're going to do some opening scenes from issue 0. So I'm going to go in character keeper order. So I'm going to ask Stephen to open up.
Hey there, I'm Stephen, he, him. I've been playing here in the Gauntlet for half a year. You won't find me elsewhere, so don't bother looking. And I am playing Harmony, she, her. Harmony is the scion. She is the daughter of the new dictator on the block. You know, among all the other militarized superpowers. He has arisen to unite the galaxy through endless war, and Harmony's not really into that. So I ran off with my dad's creation, and yep, I'm gonna try to bring harmony to the galaxy through magic and singing.
I love the singing part. That's the most important. Chibi.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I play the role of Rana, the beacon. Rana is a Bufo, intergalactic frog people who has spent their life kind of wanting something greater, something bigger, and being obsessed with superheroes, and now finally has a chance to be one themselves and wants to show everyone that they can be one of the greatest.
Excellent. We have 2 other heroes in our party, but we'll introduce those 2 next time. So I'm rethinking. I don't do a lot of planning pre-games because like this is play to find out. But I've mapped out a couple of villains and a couple of sort of key points. So I think what we'll do is we will also rely upon flashbacks tonight as well, so we can sort of
awesome.
Uncover some of your NPCs, give them a little bit more depth and defend and sort of define those into the story a little bit. Okay, but I think we will pick up almost as say in our issue 0. It's clear that you 2 are the lead characters and the other folks are just like hangers on. You know,
yeah,
they ain't gonna get no spin-offs.
They're supporting characters in our mythos.
Yeah, exactly. So
we can say that about them because they're not here.
Yeah.
Yep.
See how it unfolds. But I suppose the interesting thing about both of your characters is you are both tied to 2 of the sizable anchors we built in our world in session 0. And for Rana, the shadow. That is the raptor. So, Rana, would you like to tell us just a little bit about the raptor? Remind us about them.
Okay, so the raptor is probably one of our like gold to silver age heroes. So He's effectively in the twilight of his career. He's been around for a long time. He's actually been out of commission for a number of years, which all relates back to the death of his previous sidekick, Shrike. The actor is very familiarly sort of almost like the Batman of the mythos. He's a Cape Crusader. He's super clever, scientific, and very no nonsense. He dresses as a raptor, a predatory bird, to strike fear into all the frog people. Further, sort of like almost like a genetic throwback that triggers when they see birds of prey.
Excellent. And Harmony, I'd like to just sort of remind us a little bit more about Unity. You might be muted there, Stephen.
Yeah, Unity is a scientific genius. As we kind of established during session 0, our people were at were kind of caught in between two of the great military powers, and our planet became, I guess, sort of a battleground for them that led to the death of a lot of our people. So my father applied his scientific genius to, let's call it what it is, trying to enslave an alien race and make them into soldiers. You'll find out more about that with next session in next issue when we introduce our other characters. Yeah, and yeah, now he has kind of emerged into the kind of intergalactic scene with a inexplicably vast army of minions, and his great scientific and his great weapons of war that he is waging to unite the galaxy under his rule.
Excellent. So as you turn the page into our first issue of this comic, folks, you see a Kirby-esque cosmic landscape of colorful nebula clouds, so many stars, and then a pinprick of light in the darkness. As the next panel zooms in on it, we see the base of operations, the mobile base of operations for our crew, which is the Space Hawk, formerly the vessel of the Raptor, who was a member of the established team, the Rocket Rangers. But in the origin of our team, they left with the ship, sort of with the Raptors' blessing, sort of.
There was consent. I'm not sure it was informed, but there was definitely consent.
I think we established that fundamentally, at the end of it, the Raptor said, take it, but I'll be calling on you. So it glitters. It's silver and bird-like with a big sharp pointed beak. I'll put some pictures in at a later point. But the ship is glittering through the cosmos at speed. Nothing else is nearby. We zoom through the metal hull to see for the first time two of our heroes who are deep. Well, let's see what they're doing. Harmony, for your first panel in the comic, let's introduce ourselves to Harmony. And what does Harmony do on the Space Hawk when they're kicking back or in travel? Let's find out a little bit about them. Paint the scene for me.
I guess we see Harmony, and she is wearing like a flaring gold dress, the kind that seems to not actually like obey the laws of gravity that you tend to see in like sci-fi comics, that kind of like flares out in strange in like places that like and produce this kind of silhouette that would be impossible with actual like modern fabrics. I think it like kind of produces this kind of, I think actually like the skirt part is actually kind of always kind of thrumming with like a kind of sound wave that that she's kind of always emanating at like a low pitch. And she is she's strumming on her space guitar.
Space guitar, love it. Does a space guitar? How does a space guitar look? What is it? How does it look different from what young folks reading this comic might expect?
Let me think. I guess it sort of has a
Let me leave you to think about that a second. Let's not worry too much. If you're drawing a blank, and let's we cut across the ship, and in one room we would see Danger Beam meditating. Another we see Domatron the Rock. We're not entirely sure if Dumatron, sorry, is awake or not. They stand there statically, and then we cut across the ship to see Rana the Shadow. And Andrea, so we have. Can you do the same, please? Can we introduce Rana for the first time, and what are they doing on the ship?
Skulking through the shadows of the ship, their bright eyes just a thin sliver amongst their hooded mask. The shadow crawls silently. None can see the shadow, and none can stop the shadow from taking its prey. The pilot's chair. Now that everyone's distracted and they've set the autopilot, Rana absolutely wants to sit in the pilot's chair. And
and then it just spins around and Harmony's already there, strumming her guitar. Hey, Rana.
And Rana goes from the body language of like, cautious predator to just utterly disheartened child. Just slump. And like probably like a big smoky teardrop emoji above their head. Oh, hey Harmony.
So, what are you doing?
It's just, gonna get some air miles in, Practice makes perfect. What are you up to?
I guess the same, and I kind of strum on my guitar, and my dress kind of does another like reverberation of sonic waves.
I hear you can't be a real rocket ranger till you've put in at least 1,000 hours in the cockpit.
Okay. Well, we're on autopilot now.
Yeah, most ships have that. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be actively piloting or just in the cockpit absorbing.
I stand up and I kind of go, well, if you want to observe, I guess I'm fine with that. And I'm kind of just standing there like looking at you, because we're relatively don't know each other that well just yet. We've had this big adventure together, but...
How tall is Harmony, for context?
I think she's probably pretty tall. She's like probably 6 feet-ish.
Cool. Like, Rana's probably the good side of 5'2".
So like Rana quite a height mismatch there, right? As you're looking.
Absolutely. Like Rana has to look right up to see Harmony in the eyes. And it's just this little squat, robed frog person.
To sort of frame the panel of you two looking at that height mismatch and the star field in front of you standing on the cockpit of the Space Hawk.
So, you fly these ships before?
Oh, I mean, not, 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 not much. Just the usual kind of the usual kind of training in militarized combat that all parents put their kids through, I'm sure.
Sounds like a story. And Rana's going to just hop from standing, clear about 4 foot, and land in one of the other chairs. Tell me about it.
So let's take a flashback scene at that point to the first time now that we see an image looming over Harmony of the dread Unity. What does Unity look like, Harmony?
I think Unity, when he is not like actively like in his like Unity armor, he is kind of like, I'm just kind of thinking of the right way of saying this. He's I guess he cuts like a less immediately imposing figure than you would necessarily expect. He's maybe about an inch shorter than Harmony. But he does kind of definitely project this sternness with Harmony. I think if we're catching them in a private moment, that he's probably dressed in this kind of I never gave my species a name. I feel like I just want to go with the fact, since they all have these kind of connection to the cosmic energies, that they all their fabrics all just sort of have this inherent quality, but they just sort of reverberate with them. But that's not just a Harmony thing.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So I think it's probably only in probably the last recent times that your father has become more militaristic and adapted your people after the consequences of the war that we set up in our Ascension Zero.
Yeah.
So he's sort of looking over you and says, and you can sort of see what a few years ago would have been a bustling spaceport for the cultural and historic pilgrimages or trips that were made to your planet, that it's been repurposed into a vast metallic grunting and lights flashing shipyard. Large troop carriers and warships are being built. And he looks and stands next to you and says, "My daughter, can you not see the beauty in this as we prepare now for the endless war that must come?"
Yes. I mean, I don't know if I'd use the word beauty.
It is like a grand opera. It beats, it reaches its crescendo, and we must emerge from our chrysalis to take our place as rulers of this galaxy and prepare it for what comes.
I just You know, I just generally tend to think of operas as grand opera. I are you certain this is the way things need to be? Aren't we simply just bringing more war? Are we simply bringing more, adding to the suffering of the galaxy?
We can never be victims again. It's our time to rise. We must prepare. I have seen what comes for us. And you will be ready, for right now you are a child. And he's telling you who you are. Exerting, as a parent, their influence over you.
Yeah.
Are you accepting?
Well, what's the labels shift?
So I think I am going to try and bring your mundane down and your danger
I think I might know.
up.
Yeah, I think I kind of look back at him and say, I don't know. I know we've been through a lot, Dad, but this isn't the way we have to do things. And I'm gonna reject his influence. Let's see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I got a 12.
So you reject someone's influence on a hit. You successfully hold yourself and tune them out. On a 10+, you choose 2 from the list from the influence move. Which 2 would you like to choose, Harmony?
Okay. Let's see here.
So you can clear a conditional mark potential by immediately act.
On
in the basic moves. It's on page 2. If you've got.
Yeah, no, I have it here. I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to. I don't know. I don't have to. I'm not going to cancel their influence just yet. That's too useful. I am though going to shift 1 label up and 1 label down.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Like, sure. I think that this is where we see the flashback where, like, after this conversation, like, we see her grab, like, her... I'm gonna call it an orb guitar. I think it's, like, basically, like, a reverberating, like, glowing orb that has, like, strings, like, just suspended in front of it that, like, reverberates with the orb. That's what it is, the space guitar.
Cool.
And I think that this is kind of leading into the whole situation that we had as the opening setup, where we see her breaking into the lab where Dumatron is being kept.
Excellent. So let's cut back into the present. As you're both sort of pulled out of the story and this flashback by a flashing light on the comms system. There is a holographic comms room towards the center of the ship, but that comms means that the Raptor is trying to get in touch with you.
Ooh, it's a message. I'm going to dramatically press the button.
Um,
And stand to attention.
press to the button, and with some frustration, the raptor proclaims, "Go to the comms room. Take the message there. I have holographic information to provide you."
Of course, Raptor, sir. Harmony, do you know which one's the comms room?
It's down the hall, second door on the right. Let's go.
Thanks, bud. See you in a minute, Raptor.
As you enter into the room, the lights all light up in crisp metal, as revealed with blue lighting as it flashes in and reveals you all. And then a holographic form of the raptor appears. We established in session 0, the raptor no longer dresses in his outfit. He has but retired. So when we see raptor, what do they look like, Rana?
Right. He hasn't worn the raptor suit in many, many years, which is iconic, but he was just now has been throwing himself into quite abundant danger. So he has this very almost brandless Tesco no frills powered suit on. It's like big, chunky limbs, big, solid chest plates, got a huge back piece that looks like it must be some kind of power source. And then he's taken the helmet off, and sort of you can only sort of see the upper half of his face, which has like a little cowl over it to preserve his superhero dignity. But yeah, and it's just all in sort of like grays and blues, and very unlike how people would remember him.
So, the in that sort of Mass Effect-y types of semi-translucent but full color holographic view, he scans the room and sees both of you, and turns to face Harmony, not making particularly, looks at you and almost looks over you, Rana.
Rana stands to attention.
Let's flash back to a little bit of Rana's origin and the time. Let's sort of find the time when you first met the raptor and this reluctant relationship between you both sort of started. If you'd like to paint the scene for where we are to begin with, please.
Okay, it's a huge dark room like a warehouse, and there's these two skinny little frog kids peering through the darkness. One of them sort of like lifts a torch and goes, "Yeah, it must be in here somewhere," and like they click it on, and it just falls over this big sort of like flying car, which is all angles and has like big exhaust pipes that look like feathers, and has this big sort of hood ornament with like a clawed beak. And it's like, whoa, it's a raptor mobile. How did he get his hands on one of them? Damn, he must be loaded. There must be tons of stuff in here. Oh, we hit the jackpot. We're going to be rich, bro. We're going to be rich. And they start going through more and more, pulling like tarps off stuff, shining torches on it. And like, you know, you find like what is a large half melted iron hand, about 10 foot tall. And it's like, oh, that's the hand of Magnetron. Whoa. And then as they go towards the back, they pull open these lockers, and inside are a series of suits. And it's like, wait a minute, raptor suits? And dude, I think this is legit. And Rana's like, yeah, I think this might be the raptor cave. Oh my God, I need to try it on. And Rana sort of like starts getting into one of the cases.
So I think whilst you're doing that, Gert is helping themselves to a number of the tools and utility devices, going like, we could get past the security devices on the top dome for this. We could take anything we want. See, those 1%ers up there with their feathers and beaks, we're gonna take them down.
Dude, we could fight crime. We could get our own comic book or TV series.
So,
And Rana's pulling on one of the Shrike costumes, which just kind of fits.
I don't want to be famous. I just want to be rich.
Dude, everyone who's famous is rich.
Not if you take it from the rich people.
Yeah, but if we're making our own... Anyway, how do I look, buddy?
Says, you then hear this growling voice from the darkness, like you're dressed for a funeral.
Yeah, and I think at that point, a light just flashes on, blinding them as this Birdman descends from the ceiling. Wings fully spread, claws out, hands and feet ready to pounce. And that is when Rana runs.
So Rana runs, and we see the raptor dropping down on you. Cut back to the present. It says, Harmony, I received a brief burst of an SOS message, and then it was cut off. From a passenger liner, the Astra Planeti. I need you to investigate and stay out of trouble. There are various dignitaries on board and some VIPs. It was a multi-planet pleasure cruise. We had heard that Stell, the solar songstress, is on board, among others. I want you to find it and report back its position so we can determine the best course of action to take the vessel back under control. Do you understand?
Sir, yes, sir.
Aren't you retired?
Sort of peers at you and then peers at at Rana again and looks at you and says, I have decided that there is a alternative course of action. The galaxy unfortunately still needs me after the shit that you lot pulled. So you're going to have to pay your ways. I'm going to help you clear your names, and I'll help you get yourself on the straight and narrow and be ready for what you need to do.
Oh, I'm definitely trying to pierce the mask.
Sure.
That was weird. That is a 3.
So on a 3, that is a fail.
Yeah.
So as you try and look them in the eye, even though they're elsewhere in the cosmos, the penetrating eyes of the raptor peer into you and cow the unworthy. So looks at you and says, do you understand? And you don't really have much choice in the matter at this point, because he's just pulled a move on the back of your failure. You do get a mark potential, so you know there are
Yeah.
some. Yeah, a marker condition.
Yeah, I'll mark insecure. I guess I kind of like look down at my feet and just say yes.
Cool. Excellent. So he says, I don't need you to get involved. Just report back. Make sure there's nothing too dangerous over there. Stay safe. And then the coordinates light up and the signal drops. The ship starts adjusting course immediately, and the bright blue trails of the ship entering its sort of top speed flash forward as we see the ship pulling away into the distance.
Okay, so I think we're agreed that we're going to try to save the ship, right?
Hell yeah, this is our first super mission.
And
So,
I'm
do
just
this.
gonna go grab some albums I have back in my room, and you know, just in case there's any chance for autograph, and you can go keep an eye on the autopilot. Don't touch anything. And I kind of like back out of the room, pointing at you, and then run off.
Awesome. What does Rana do?
So yeah, I think it cuts. Rana is sat on the pilot's chair, feet up on one of the consoles, because Rana's decided that learning piloting through osmosis for now is going to be the best route to success. And has like what effectively looks a bit like a burger in one hand and a drink in the other. And is just excitedly chilling and watching the stars swoosh past on the screens. And then is going to pull out little, effectively what our cosmic sci-fi mobile phone is, and start writing a message to Gert. Like, OMG, bro, this is all getting so crazy. About to go do my first super mission. Going to make you proud, bro.
So, excellent. So the Space Hawk is not a small ship. It's big enough to transport in comfort the rocket rangers. But as it drops out of its trying to think, do we want to call it warp, hyperspace? Anything got a cool name for really fast travel in this cosmic game they'd like to add in? I'll think of one, but we'll leave it there. But it drops out, and it is dwarfed by this vast galactic cruise liner. Sitting at the center of it is the glowing form of a protostar that is used to power it. It sits across atop a blue-white habitable M-class world that is not Earth, but it is noted as one of the pleasure and beautiful planets on this cruise. Lights are dark. There's a link to the picture of the ship there, but lights are quite dark on it. And as you come in, you are looking over the ship, but you are a pinprick against it. The ship is not moving anywhere. What would you like to do?
I would like to see if I can get some scanners on it, but really what I want to do is use a move, straight up creeping. When I scope out a person or a place, I get to roll mundane.
Then you get to do just that.
Cool. I roll a total of 4. I get to add my mundane. That's a 6. I am missing.
Hey, this is a point to remind you. This is the start of the session and our very first game. But you
Look
will
at the
have
team.
at the start of every session, I add one team to the pool. So your team currently sits at 1. It's a question as if Harmony can think of any way to help the shadow.
I would
and
like
spend.
to call Harmony over and be like, hey, Harmony, are you familiar with these scanners? I'm trying to get a lock on the ship to give an opportunity for Harmony to help out if they'd like.
There's a pause. So do you remember that thing we talked about, the not touching? I'm assuming we're not doing that now, huh?
Hey, I waited till we got here. We're here now. It's time for us to get into business. And I need to figure out what's going on in that ship, right?
So Harmony, it looks like that probably Rana has done it correctly, but is currently locked out of the critical systems on the ship.
Well, let's see what I can do when I Yeah, I guess I try to see if I can't like short out some of these security systems on the ship. Oh, cover your ears for a second. Or ear holes? Sensors. And I kind of let out a bit of a shriek, and yeah, and some computer circuitry makes a fizzling noise. Okay, that should have broken the right things.
And you didn't touch anything. Well done.
So the sensors click and lock onto the ship.
I get to ask one.
Yeah. What you asking?
I'm torn between 2. What's our best way in stroke out?
With some yeah, whatever's happening here, the easiest way out is the in and out is the docking bay. One of the docking bay hatch doors could be sort of is open, but you're going to come in quite visible. The more difficult way is to fly down and through and just past the sort of microfusion sun that's powering the ship, which is going to need some fancy flying. And if your flying ain't fancy enough, you might find out what it's like to get a froggy suntan.
So yeah, I'm going to zoom in on the ship on that panel and be like, so Harmony, like, if we could fly around that sun that's powering the ship, we could probably get into one of the rear ancillary ports, which means we could get in there off the radar. But failing that, there is a docking bay right there, if we don't mind being obvious. What do you think?
I would prefer the option where we don't fly into a sun. That's always preferable.
So you're saying do the first one and don't fly into the sun, or you're saying do the second one?
That's an interesting interpretation. I'm going to go with the second one.
Okay. We're on the same wavelength now, I guess. Okay. So yeah, if we just dock up there, they'll see us coming, but it's safe enough.
I mean, isn't one of yours pull off a ridiculous stunt, as well as drive a fantastical vehicle?
It is, but I can be patient.
I mean, you don't have to be.
Yeah, do as many. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. You don't have to listen. You can do crazy stuff. Up to you. But you're gonna
You know what?
fly in through the main door. Or you're gonna pull something crazy.
Like, you don't have influence over me to lose, so this
Yeah.
is the time to do it.
One sec. I am going to consider another move. I would like to assess the situation,
Sure.
just to figure out if I can hotshot this. That's it's 8 on the dice. I roll plus superior, which is 0. So that's a basic hit.
So on a 7 to 9, you can ask one of the questions from the assess the situation pull list, or something close to it. Yeah, sorry.
What here can I use to get the ship around that solar engine without frying it?
If you come in tight and zoom around it like you used to running hover bikes around the tight curves on the side of the dome, you reckon you could pull this crazy crap off?
I'm gonna start plotting the trajectory. Yeah, like, you know what?
Rana, why are you silent right now?
I was totally mistaken.
What's...
That route's actually absolutely clear around the sun. Like, if we just take it nice and tight, we're not going to get anywhere near the heat. And the shields and the plating should be good enough to keep them out any stray radiation. Yeah, I think we're good to go covert on this. Hey, Harmony.
So,
buckle up. And Rana's mouth just opens into the biggest grin.
You're trying to overcome an obstacle here. So the most suitable move to pull here is going to be unleash your powers with your acrobatic skills and raise a sharp reflex.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
So for unleash your powers, you're rolling with your freak.
I rolled an 8.
So +1 forward takes you to a 9, but not quite enough, unfortunately. But a 7 to 9, you mark a condition, or I'm going to tell you how the effect is unstable or temporary. What would you like?
I should probably mark a condition.
Yeah. How are you feeling? What condition do you think is appropriate?
I'm afraid. Like, I'm never going to let on. But there's just a moment where Rana is literally standing on the control console, both hands wrapped around the main piloting stick, and their feet wrapped around 2 other instruments, using all 4 limbs to sort of pull and twist and contort the controls at the same time, as literally the upper half of the ship is just like a red flame as the energy field of the sun washes over the shielding of the ship. And everything is red and flashing lights and warnings, and there's like a big trickle of sweat coming down Rana's face. It is shaking. It just comes round. Like, maybe the paintwork isn't as bright as it used to be. And then there is a collapsed, just stressed sigh and heap as the ship slows and pulls to the rear docking.
I think as you've entered like sort of the service hatch area, I think the good news is you have managed to pull off a ridiculous a stunt and drive a fantastical vehicle.
Yes.
The bad news is Harmony might have something to say about all this.
Yeah. I imagine that Harmony has actually just been like tumbling around the cockpit this entire stunt because you just kind of flew in after you said buckle up, and I think there's just kind of been this like Harmony, we kind of flash over to the other seat, and Harmony is like in it, crumpled over and kind of like upside down in the seat.
And then Rana will turn around, give a thumbs up, see you there, and make the I'm about to get in trouble face. You'll see this face a lot. And starts almost preemptively flinching.
Yeah, I guess actually I'm gonna do this. I guess like not Rana, Harmony like kind of gets up and she's like about to get like really like bursting out angry, and then like she kind of thinks back to her father and she sees your kind of sad like puppy frog face.
That sounds marketable.
And she just kind of grimaces a bit into this like tight smile and says, "That was some really good flying there. I'm really proud of you, Rana. And I am comforting or supporting someone by telling them lies they want to hear."
But you're growing as a hero as well, so that's cool, right? So let's have a comfort support. So in a comfort support, if everyone's not played Mass before, you roll plus mundane, and then we'll see if Rana hears Harmony.
And I am rolling plus savior because I'm using white lies.
Ah, excellent.
And that is an 8, but I just first off always get influence over Rana, and I already do. So I'm going to shift your I guess based on what I'm saying, I'm going to shift your superior up and your mundane down.
Oh, really? Like, as you say this, like Rana's brings her hands down and like kind of holds them because they're shaking a bit, and it's like, what? Really? You're wow. Like it was really tight there for a second. This bird is capable of hell of a fast, but with all the mass, I wasn't actually quite sure I had the right orbit range, but no, it held together really well. But it was really hairy there for a second. Even I wasn't sure if I was going to pull through it okay, but yeah, we got there in the end, and I'm just wow. Thanks, Harmony.
Just maybe
appreciate that.
As I kind of like, as I just maybe a little bit forewarning next time. And you
no, yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and so you can mark potential, clear condition, or also shift labels.
I'll knock the afraid off. I think that your belief in Rana has actually bolstered them enough to help them get over the adrenaline and the near-death experience and channel it in a much more positive way.
Elsewhere in the ship, in a cosmic ballroom which glitters with starscapes and sort of impossible beauty, a figure floats in the air, legs crossed, arms on it. It's one glittering white and blue eye blinking, and it says, and then these sort of two figures, one glittering black or sort of almost flickering with like information flying up and down, and one black, one white. A reverse said, "We have detected a ship arriving. We believe it to be the the Space Hawk." And then the figure says, "So the Rocket Rangers have come They too will join my congregation. We will teach them the way. And we'll take a short break there, I think, folks. If we're happy, we'll just sort of take 5-10 minutes just to have a break, because 2 players is relatively intense. Just to have a moment there. I'll put in an image link in the chat to the floating figure and their emissaries. But we'll come back for 20 past the hour, please, folks.
Sure.
Okay.
See you soon.